Second principle, create spaces and programs that foster a sense of community for all students. And in here, I just realized this, and I should have employees and staff. Sorry about that. Particularly people from underrepresented communities. What this means is that there is, what's interesting is we had this conversation the other day. Imagine if you are a white person, and we had this long discussion the other day, white people tend to, I think, identify as white when there are other groups that we'll talk to them about in relative to African American, not necessarily black, but we don't talk to us about ourselves as being European American, and it's very interesting that, what do we call ourselves? But what this relates to is the idea that most of the time, those of us who are white, and I speak for myself included, is we walk into environments and we will see more people like us. And we feel comfortable because we see more people like us. But when you have someone who comes in who is African American, Hispanic, Chicano, Latino, they come in, they'll hear perhaps a different accent. What they hear are different norm of behavior and expectation. I mean, take someone who's Hispanic walking into a room, and they are what I call code switching, and in order to adapt to that environment. And so what happens is that people need to find pockets and places where they feel comfortable. It can be in one setting. You can design it to be multicultural and everybody feels comfortable. And you can design places where, black people can gather and have lunch together. We notice that if you look at the cafeteria in a school, children will gather oftentimes by their race, or if they have a group of students who are deaf, they'll gather over here. And as much as we want them to always be interacting with one another all the time, that may not happen. And the reason for that is what I will explain to you is what I call going home. I talk about with the deaf community about needing to go home, and I get replenished when I'm among deaf people, and I'm signing, and I'm not having to worry about talking, I'm not using English, and my manners and my mannerism change drastically from how I'm behaving with you, for example. Drastically meaning there's a shift for me, and you will notice if you just watch me in that setting, I'm different than how I am standing before you right now. And to me, there's a sense of comfort that comes from being in that space. And I need that space. Now, do I need it in the workplace? Maybe not. If I'm a student living at the University of Minnesota or living here at Creighton University, might I need that? Maybe. I'm not home anymore. And so I'm going to be looking for that home, that place where I get replenished. And so that's what this is. For all of you, it could be different things. It might be joining an outdoor club. That is a home. That's a sense of community.